had a hair salon at the Upper Thomson near the current Thomson Plaza there in the 60s. Because we were schooling in a neighborhood school then, and my father decided to move us to town, so the whole family moved to town, and therefore we stopped our business at Upper Thomson. Then we stay in town for some years. Then the opportunity came up in Brani because our friends there said that there were a hair salon before at Brani, but it was closed. So they say, why not, since your mom has the skill and she can, restart her business there, why not give it a try? So my dad said, okay. So we rented a small shop house, and then my mother went over to Brani to start her hair salon business. I remember I was then in primary school, I think, very young, and we were staying in Singapore mainland actually. Only my mother and my one younger brother were staying in Brani because my brother then was still young. He hasn't, start his primary one. So, but the rest of us, my dad and the three of us, the three children were staying in Singapore because we have to go to school every day, So my mother is like quite independent in a sense because she doesn't have a lot of friends there because she moved there because of one of the residents, we call them Wa Sok, is the person who stay near the jetty. It's a very big family, but I vaguely remember that is how we call him. And only that family my dad knows, so therefore my mom only rely on them to make the connections. And then of course the residents there slowly get to know my mom also get to know them all. And I remember the immediate neighbor was Roti Prata store, an Indian man, I remember. And then he was very friendly, so do the residents there. They're all very nice people, slowly, they get to know us, and then they warm up to us. And I also remember there were this coffee shop, I think it's a Chinese family doing like kaya toast and all that, My mom told me she usually will buy coffee from them or breakfast from them in the morning. And my mom said that she only paid 10 cents, right? 10 cents for a pot of coffee. The pot is not a small pot, it's a huge pot for 10 cents, right or wrong? 1毛钱啊，是吗？1毛钱啊，一刀。
那个盘很大。
It's a big one. She says it's like a big one. I cannot imagine how big is that. It's like it's so huge. Yeah. So and then this family has a young son, also about my younger brother's age, I think. So he usually come over to my mom's salon and then helping my mom on errands and things like that. Very friendly, because in the day just my mom and my younger brother, so no other help. So this young boy came over and helped my mother, and then mix around with my my younger brother, and they were good friends. And then they play together, from one day they disappeared, right? My mom told me what happened. 有一日嗰個朋友啊同個仔係咪去咗邊度啊？
去反啊，走去反啊！
你揾唔到佢係咪？
揾唔到啊！
So disappeared.
一日咧揾唔到佢。
One day, cannot find, so worried.
我 我好驚啊，揾唔到。
I remember this story, but actually 去咗邊度啊？
唔知啊，後尾我叫人去揾嘅啦，陰公，都幾驚，一日都好夜，好夜未瞓啊，7點啊瞓啊。
Until at night, 7. My mom said, don't know where they disappeared to, both of them. They went to which corner of the island, don't know where.
我驚佢跌落海啊！
My mom worried that, they probably, fall into the sea.
真係好驚啊！
And then, 你仲有咩可以講啊？
佢都唔曉游水啊嘛。
Because my mom worried that my younger brother doesn't know how to swim. In fact, all of us didn't know how to swim. Talking about swimming, we were so impressed, by the islanders, especially the young boys. They really know how to dive into the water and just disappeared, for don't know how long, And I remember that those tourists or people like threw some coins, and suddenly this boy, they came out with the coins, and waving at us, Wow, I was so impressed. So I told myself, I said, back to Singapore, I must learn how to swim. I was like older than them, even that I cannot swim. So yeah, that was like, And I treat Brabani like a weekend home, during school holidays or weekends, Saturdays, Sundays. My dad will bring us, the 3 other children, to Brabani for a short stay. So we'll stay at the Wasuk's house because he has a big house, and then was a very pleasantly surprised kind of for me, because I never lived on a stilt house before. Wow, at night it's like when you hear the wave, it's like below you, Wow, and then the breeze and everything, it's like wow. Am I in don't know wherever it is, Sometimes you felt like, hey, is it safe, to stay here, You wonder, as a child. But after a little while, you feel that you get used to it, and the air there is so fresh, just like air conditioned at night, so breezy and then so nice. You just like it. Of course, you can hear like, because I think this wooden house, you can hear like some neighbor, some noise here and there, but it's okay. After a little while, we get used to it. So I can just go to sleep, no problem. The next day, we got up, and then we do our usual thing, go and buy breakfast, have my lunch at the Roti Prata store, and then helping my mom, and then mix around with the people around there, and then talk to them. It's like a very fun thing. The only thing I think my mom said to me was, water supply is a problem, So 你喺邊度攞啲水啊？
玩水啊！
喺邊度玩？
行出去公眾水喉嗰度玩啊！
There was a public tap, I think. Because we use a lot of water.
都好遠下㗎嘛。
Quite far. So younger brother helped her, and then bring the water back, and that's it. Because I think there wasn't any tap coming to the house then, in the 60s. Yeah, and another thing is we have to take the little boat, or you call that, the kind of sampan. Wow, since we don't know how to swim, whenever there's a wave comes, wow, we are like so, so excited. We are hold on to my, whoever around us, is like, wow, you're going to fall into the sea or something. That part is although it's a short journey, but that is a very challenging part for me. That is, I look forward to go to Brani, but I'm so worried to take the sampan, you know, the to and fro journey. I was quite scared. Yeah.
坐船好勁
Yeah,
喎，
my mom also because she doesn't swim also. So actually we are so
要一
worried.
擺個船入水嘅咧，
Uh,
入乜真咯，愛沉落去。
sometimes the sampan tilt so much, the water comes in, you know. It's not that it's leaking or anything, but you, being a non-swimmer, you are so worried, you know, that you're going to sink or you're going to fall into the sea. So that's what my mom was so worried. You know. Then the whole family is, only my dad. My dad, all along, he's a good swimmer. My dad back in Singapore, he was a member of this Singapore Chinese swimming club or what, and then he used to swim, and then I remember he took us to Changi, and then he did the same thing, diving, you know, and then from this spot he went into the sea, and then he went out to far away, you know, then he can appear from so far, and then he can dive it back. So the only person that on the sampan is my dad, very safe. Sometimes we just grab hold of him, but he's only one person, you know, so cannot be so many people going onto him, you know, so we are so worried, you know, without him.
危險啊！
Yeah, we are
坐
all
船好危
so
險，
scared of
嗰
that,
啲
the whole
船
family.
好細隻啊嘛。
Yeah, sampan, the sampan.
嗯
Yeah. But other than that is, if we overcome that fear, other than that is very pleasant for us. It's no problem. Yeah. Then what else on the island? 有咩嘢你特別愛？
即特別係坐船驚咧，做咩？幾擺喺船爭啲沉落去嘅。
Actually, my mom described that it's like going to capsize. Actually, it's not. No, I remember the wave is so strong that, you know, the sampan is just tilt this way because it's so small, and the wave come that way, you can just tilt this. And the sampan men, they were so skilled. They know how to, you know, maneuver, or they know how to avoid the wave, or the head-on wave. So therefore, we were very safe for so long. I think 2 years plus or so. We travel to and fro. We have no problem. It's just like it looks like it's a danger approaching, but actually it's not. No. After that, there's another wave. Then, wow! I tell you, how many waves you have to overcome before you get to Pulau Brani. The same thing that you are coming back also. You have to, you know, worry for that 10 minutes or so, right? 係咪10分鐘係咪？ About that, I think maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I can't remember. A short journey, but yeah, that's it. I would say that as a Singaporean, I mean, I stay in the mainland, so I call that, I know, oh, you are Singaporean, means I stay in the mainland. When I look at the Pulau Brani, my perspective is like, the life there is very relaxed. People there are very nice and very warm, you know. Everybody talks to everybody, regardless of your race, you know, your religion and your color. They all mix very, very well. But the thing is, our time was like in I think towards the 70 or so. I think because of the relocation thing, you know, the government tried to relocate the islanders back to the mainland. So therefore, the activities there are kind of lessened, you know. Then subsequently, also my mom moved out from Pulau Brani. Yeah.
好麻煩咯，嗰度買乜都冇，成日買嗰啲魚就成日觀音又冇，大洋未會買啊。
Oh, yeah.
大嘅會又冇啦。
Oh, yeah. No, she said something like, my mom is a fish eater, you know. She says it's only the smaller fishes they have. The bigger fish, you know, I think you don't really get ready market from there. You probably have to buy from another island, or maybe you have to come back to Singapore to
嗰度
get
冇
it.
嘢買，係一個阿伯揞嗰個咩嚟賣咁少少。
魚係咪賣魚啊？ Yeah, there was this old man came with this, you know, the paddler, yeah, paddling for small fishes,
好細嘅嘢
kuning
賣。
fishes. You know, other than that, there's no, you don't have a wet market there sell big fishes and all. Yeah, she's basically a fish eater, you know. She's not a meat eater, so you know, fish to her is very important. Actually, we were kind of expect that maybe you know more fishes around, but perhaps when they catch a fish, they probably sell it to another, you know, islands
Mà
or
mình
maybe
bao là tâm về là mày mà.
yeah.
Chứ các bạn mà.
Yeah. Also selling bread, you know, they have this hawker came around and then sell bread. Yeah. My mom mentioned that in our hair salon, she got somebody to install a tank, which water can run through the tank and coming into the salon, and then she can wash hair for the customers. I didn't know that, but now that my mom said, and but of course no hot water, just cold running water. But it makes it very convenient rather than you have this pail of water, you know, you start scooping the pail of water. Yeah. Then she said most of the customer come in for haircut or setting their hair or sometimes perm their hair, and majority of them, or in fact all of them, are the residents there, be it Chinese, Malays, yeah, all are the residents there. So 仲有咩啊？你個 salon 入邊仲有咩日日？啊 yeah, she start her business in the morning at 8 o'clock, she said, and she finished off at about 5 o'clock. Yeah, 8 to 5 thereabout. Yeah. So 有咩特別嘅嘢啊？你可以講。
冇咩特別啊，嗰度咩都冇咩嘢㗎，唔得搬咁多嘢去嘛。
Oh yeah, because my mom said that the shop space there is rather small, you know. Because I remember that there was this big shop, but it was divided into two. I remember the next door was this prata shop, and then we took half. So we have a lot of equipment, you know. We have back in Singapore, when we were at Thomson, at the time we had a very big hair salon, and we have a lot of equipment, and we stored at some place. But I think it's very difficult to bring it over to Brunei, you know, because of the transportation.
叫咗工人又咪來，入呢度好靜。
Yeah, we wanted to employ our old workers, you know, working with my mom then, you know, at Thomson site, but they don't want to come to Brunei because of the you know, the travel, the journey. Yeah, and also like to them they look at Brunei is like a very quiet, secluded corner perhaps, you know, because they feel that it's rather inconvenient to come to Brunei to work. So my mom cannot employ any helpers in that sense. Yeah.
Any of the British cut hair with her?
I think during our time, that or rather my mom's time, I don't think there were British people come to the hair salon, because it was a later part. I think perhaps the earlier salon, yeah, they will do all this business from the, you know, maybe the British, you know, and the families.
叫咗工人唔嚟㗎啦，個唔中意嚟呢度，好定啊。
Difficult to hire workers, and it's one of the reasons, because it's very labor intensive kind of business. When you have a lot of people come to your salon, you cannot expect people to queue up, you know. Yeah, because the long wait there, cutting hair, you know, and it's very difficult, and long hours for her. So yeah, after some time, you also feel very tiring. 你有冇 off day 㗎？
有。
禮拜啊。Yeah. So she will off on Sunday only, Monday to Saturday, Sunday off. Yeah, the rest day.
But then on the island, how does she lives with the family, right? So how did she feel when she had to live on the island compared to back in Singapore?
Oh, she told me that at night especially she's quite she's quite worried, because my dad not staying there, so she sometimes wondering, what happened, in the day it's okay because it's like, bright and all, so she's not afraid of anything. But at night, sometimes your mind just wonder, you wonder like, you have this boat people or some people, because this is a very small island, so she always have this thought that, we will have outsider come in or how, she a bit worried lah. She told me before, but I told her not to worry because I think she is alone there in a way, with one young son, so she's kind of worried, yeah. But I think my mom mentioned like only occasionally, sometimes at night somebody knock at the door, so she doesn't know who is that person. That was towards the later part 啦。So 嗰個人敲門嗰個係邊個？唔知道。
知道。
Yeah. She couldn't find out. She's so worried that she doesn't want to see.
好多人飲醉酒嘅好多嘛。
Maybe she thought lah, maybe someone drunk or something, maybe knock at the wrong door or what. But she didn't get to see the person, so she doesn't know. So she like fearful lah. Yeah.
夜晚飲醉啲喎㗎。
Yeah, at night.
Did she train any of the islanders as helpers in the end?
你有冇請嗰啲本地嘅人啊？
唔會，呢度邊度有人做啊？做電飯冇啊？
本地嘅人啊冇啊？
冇，呢度冇啊。喺新加坡請嚟唔嚟啊？阿子都唔嚟啊。
Actually, for hair salon also as far as I know you also need to have some basic skills easier because back home our workers usually they have some kind of training because on the job training is very difficult. It's like you are doing the real customers already, so you must have some basic skill. And she wanted to get people from hire from Singapore, but they all don't want to come to Blabrani. So ideally is someone that she knows also and also have some basic skills.
個個坐驚咪坐船好驚嘅咧。
Yeah, they are afraid to take the sampan, Yeah.
係好多人驚啊嘛。日日咁樣坐嚟坐去好麻煩啊。
Yeah.
So how many years was she on the island?
About 2 years. About 2 years. That was the later part because towards the end, a lot of residents they have moved out already by then, and it's quieter and quieter. Yeah.
Does she like miss the island? I mean, for you also.
你離開咗 Blabrani， 你會想念 Blabrani 冇？有冇翻去啊？有嗬。
來翻去啊，揾華叔阿伯啊，阿伯阿妹佢哋咯。
Oh yeah, she still visit the island, I remember like vaguely is like we went back to visit the family that stay near the jetty. Can't remember the location, but it's there. But then was also getting quieter and quieter. Yeah. Only the family, I think they were maybe one of those last batch or what to be relocated. Yeah. So after that, no more already. Yeah. To me, it's such a waste, It's like, to me, it's like very unspoiled kind of environment, very natural. It's not like that kind of very busy, it's like, a lot of activities and very noisy, that kind of environment, For me, I certainly miss, that kind of, relaxed lifestyle and all, yeah. You are just yourself, You can get up in the morning and you can walk out, and then you can sometimes you can take your pillowcase or whatever, you can just walk from the street, one from the Wasuk's house, we'll walk back to our own house, or something, You are
而
yourself.
家唔知仲喺度冇啦，話咗佢哋冇晒啦。
哦，好耐都冇咯，
冇啦。
冇咗啦，好耐冇咗啦。She couldn't remember. She thought that are they still there? A long time already. It was relocated because of the naval base and everything. Yeah. So yeah, no chance. I think if we find an opportunity to visit Brani, if there's any of such, guided tour or something, we would like to join. 媽咪問你喺嗰度禮拜你做乜啊？你要行街啊買嘢啊？
冇行街啊，係啊，咁樣去村啊咁樣咯，冇去行下樓啊咁樣。
有冇巴沙馬冧啊？
好似要擺住喺度嗰個阿嫂啊，叫我行去個屋企咁樣啊，行過一擺啊。冇
買麵包㗎啦。
唔係，佢冇買嘢㗎。佢話叫我去睇個屋企咁樣。
頂嗰個賣麵包嗰個咧，你過去買麵包買嘢。
麵包嗰個嗰邊店啊。我要架白單乜嚟買，都唔使日日去嘅。嗰個白單喺門口，嚟我哋門口，我特登買嘛。
Then 仲有一個白沙馬冧內一擺，你有冇去買嘢？
有兩擺去。
有。
唔係擺去啊！因為好多時到翻新加坡嘛，係人銀啊嘛，翻啊掛住佢嘛。
OK。
係嘛？
係啦，我哋講咗嗰個係你翻嚟新加坡，佢係問你喺 Brani 你做乜啊？你 off day 做乜啊？
冇嘢做㗎啦，係衫又冇車冇成，俾個手嚟輪點樣輪啊？係嘛
？OK。And so 你冇去睇戲
冇
去行啊？你
睇戲冇睇過戲咧。
冇睇戲啊。then 其他時間咧，你就
就揾阿母嘅傾偈咯。
去傾偈。
阿勤揾阿母嘅，揾阿姑啊，阿我。
She usually will chat with the family that stay near the jetty. Yeah. And then sometimes she walk around, and then she said she went to the Pasar Malam. But I also noticed my mother, her sense of orientation is not good one. Even the island so small, I think she'll have problem. Now that you ask me, even back in Singapore, she doesn't know the place. Even you can bring her to the same shopping center 10 times, 20 times, she doesn't know how to go or which direction one. That's her. Yeah. So she basically just moving around her shop only nearby. And she went over to the neighbor and then chit-chat, that's all. And and she's one that don't go for movies. Back home also, I don't think she actively seek out for cinema there. Yeah.
要先買乜嘢剩又冇，乜嘢都冇。
She says sometimes she wants to sew, but there's no thread also. Cannot readily buy thread and all. Yeah. So some of these little things that she will come home back to Singapore and do the sewing or whatever. That's why it's also there's a limitation because there are many things that you cannot bring over. So it's very limited to do your own things there also. So she has to travel back home and then do the whatever she needed to do. Yeah.
But why does she not come home? Because she ends at 5, right? Why doesn't she come home every day? Is it very tiring? That's why.
She will definitely never travel on a sampan by herself.
Okay.
She needed my dad to be around. I mentioned my dad is an excellent swimmer to us, So every time whenever we went over, we needed our dad to be around. And when we come back to Singapore also, we needed our dad to be around. I also never, even among the children, we never travel by ourselves on the sampan, never. For so long, we never, because we cannot swim. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
is real a world of difference, you know. You know, the islanders there, they are born swimmers, and they are not fearful at all, no. It's very natural. It comes in like so natural for them. They merge with the nature so well. For us, it's the one that, you know, we are scared of this one, we're scared of that one, we're scared of everything. I recall when I first went to Pulau Brani, it's really a culture shock for me. Basically, as a Singaporean, I mean, come from the mainland, I look at it as like our way of life here is so different. Like the whole family, when we stay on the mainland, we are so scared of water, you know. I remember that when there were flooding near my place, my dad will lock us up on the second floor. We are told not to come to the ground floor. So when I went to Pulau Brani, I look at everywhere, it's like water, and then we have to take this sampan, and then with this high wave and everything. Wow, it's like, it's really a shock to me, you know, a real shock. But at the same time, it also opened up my eyes, because then I also learned that that's their way of life, you know, that nature is so, you know, it's so abundant that people can swim, people can, you know, do a lot of activities, you know, and then the children can play in the water. They don't have toys, but they can swim, they can exercise there, they can do all kind of fun games in the water. So it's, yeah, then to me it's like it's impossible, but I really have to do something about my swimming. So I said, oh, when I come back to Singapore, I better take up some kind of a swimming course, you know, so to be able to swim. Yeah. And as for my mom, she came back after she closed a shop there, and she still go back to Pulau Brani to visit her friends and the Wasok family. But slowly they also moved back to the mainland. So my mother went to visit them. If I'm not wrong, it should be near the Telok Blangah area. Although she says something, a location which I'm not familiar. So yeah, she said that there were some people move towards that area, so that she went back and visited Wasok several times. Yeah. So 你揾佢哋，你揾華叔佢哋，你有冇好想念佢哋啊？或者咩想念 Pulau Brani 嘅生活啦？
係啦，又想念佢哋啦。佢哋又好好嘛，又佢哋對我哋又好好嘅咧。就所以好難顧佢哋，佢又要啲人情啊嘛。
Yeah. My mom felt that the family or the friends they make there, they are actually very, very nice people, very kind people, very warm people. You know, the friendship there built up is like is close. You know, because I think of the kampung spirit there, the people there are just extremely nice. Yeah, of course. She missed all those, you know, the fond memories of them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Does she stay in touch with any of them still?
What happened was we moved house, you know. We also moved house many times. So I do not know whether, you know, my mama, whenever I said this, my mom, whenever she wants to go certain place, she cannot go by herself, you know. She has to have my father to bring her there. She will not make her own trip because she will get lost. Yeah. So I think every visit was there with my dad. But over the years, I think when my dad passed away, she also has limited visit. Yeah.
哎呀，做生意喺度，同佢呢度又唔慣啲人個係咪？ 又唔識講佢好多馬來
Yeah,
話。
one thing about my mom, she has a limitation. She doesn't speak so much Malay. She can, but limited. That's
識
that's
講馬來話好
yeah,
多
yeah.
嘛。
She has limited vocab to communicate with the islanders there. There's one difficulties there. So she has to anything she only rely to get help or from other people. So yeah, that's a limitation about her. Yeah. 你去嗰度你嘅印象係點樣㗎？
我驚咯就，好似你老豆又冇喺度，我一個人喺度，好驚啊！第二嗰個細。
She always so fearful because she said the husband was not around. I think that one is also cut short her stay there because my dad has to be with us, in the mainland because we were schooling then, the three of us. So she always, doesn't have a husband around. She so fearful, Yeah, that's her. She has the feeling. But when we visited her there, and then in the day with a lot of people, she's fine. Only at night, because she has to stay there alone. Yeah, so it's quite, quite.
佢冇係知係咪好驚喎？一個人。
She said alone is quite lonely in a sense. Yeah. But other than that, because she didn't move like the whole family staying there. We have this split like half the time we were here, and then she was there. Yeah.